The masters have upped the ante and Dan is a little under pressure. He starts to take his task more seriously.
It's great experience just seeing, like, these guys have been at it for 15 years now and they're very successful. So getting that insight is great experience. Gav is he's quite solid. He knows what he wants. He knows what he wants to get done. He's at this a lot longer than me, so I'm not going to question what he says. Karen said one of the biggest things, she didn't want for me to feel intimidated while I'm here. I'm here to learn, so she's really doing her best to facilitate that.
Karen wants to know how Dan feels he is faring, so she takes him for a chat and offers him some encouragement.
I suppose I have been thrown in a deep end a little bit, like, and I'm trying to do as best I can, like, to get on and see how the whole operation is working. And like, is there any more advice you could give me, like, to keep going it that way, or like, would you have any recommendations?
I think you're working extremely hard, to be honest. Now, you know, I know it must be very difficult for you just being suddenly just dropped into something that you're not familiar with, and I think considering the circumstances you're doing very well, you know. And I hope that you're getting what you thought you'd get out of it as well, that you're learning from us, and the three of us are there, you know, to give you a hand. And I suppose in a way it's probably a good thing to have three people, because you're going to get three different kind of
perspectives on it.
Perspectives exactly on the business, and we're all, I mean, you can realise now there are three totally different people, the three of us. I mean, you know, I suppose in a way that's why it works as well. But I think you have the enthusiasm for it, and I can see that you want to learn. You've been working like a Trojan for us, like, the last couple of days, and definitely if you're planning on doing something, just go for it.
Dan is doing his homework on his final presentation, but is summoned to meet Rupert to discuss other aspects of the business.
How long has the shop been running now? Like,
this location here has been operating for about 2 to 3 years. We do everything basically from wakeboards, skis, dinghies, kayaks, everything. So you're getting basically a one-stop shop for everything.
Yeah, it's become a really important part of the whole Dunmore East, like, adventure centre.
It has indeed. Well, Dunmore is a big sailing area. It's a big water sports area. So we have a captive market, really, to be honest with you. I suppose at the start it was really kind of maybe 15-20% of our business. Whereas now it's actually up to nearly 45 to 50% of our business is actually retail.
Coming from the shop.
Coming from the shop. Like, and I'm very involved with the activities, because I get an awful lot of feedback from the people on the activities, what we should be stocking in the shop. So most people who come in, if they want to come in, they do a sailing course, and they decide then afterwards that maybe I want to get into sailing, but the cost of a boat can be quite expensive to start off with. So instead of just buying a boat and then finding out, oh, I don't like sailing, well, then maybe they can try it first, and then at the end of the season, if there's a boat there that they enjoy using, well, then it's there at a knockdown price for them to actually use. So it works quite well.
The weather has closed in, but Karen is keen to make the most of Dan's windsurfing skills. She has organised a grown-up bunch of beginners for him to teach.
So this is called the boom here, all right?
Okay.
So that's what you're going to hold on to.
Right.
The clue of the sail will always point downwind. How about you just try and put your hands one over and one under there like that. So it can be quite relaxed. You don't have to be so tense. You're not trying to kill each other either. Get into the middle of the board, step back, sail goes out in front of yourself like that.
It's good fun, and he's got a steadiness about him. He gives you confidence.
Step back, sail goes out in front of yourself like that.
I would be a complete novice at windsurfing. I've actually, come away with learning a lot more, and now I'd be interested to try it again.
You don't feel uncomfortable when you're with him. His direction was excellent. And he's good looking too.
And nervous Dan is back to present his final ideas for his big task to Karen, Rupert and Gavin.
Alright, so I've been told I'm going to have 30 sharks in the morning, and I want 6 instructors for those. 1 instructor on safety in a safety boat, and the rest are going to be floating with the group.
Would you not feel it'd be better if you were supervising the whole thing?
Yeah, I would feel, but I was going to be separate from that as well, and then oversee everything, like.
Yeah, it's okay.
So you were saying earlier then there's going to be 1 instructor floating with each group. At some stage then they're not going to have an instructor with them.
Well, as they're travelling here, there'll be 1 instructor on the beach and there'll be 2 set up here. I'm going to be the one doing the briefing, so I'm trying to motivate the kids, and then also later on
You're briefing your instructors in the morning. It really is up to them, you know, to motivate the kids. They're the ones that are going to be having the fun with the kids, and you're the one that's going to be standing back, really.
Yeah.
It's more a management role we're looking at in this point of things, rather than an instructor role with you, okay?
What will you be doing with your instructors throughout the day?
Like getting them just to do their jobs, make sure that they're doing their jobs right, like checking that they're...
Checking, but from a motivational point of view, what will you be doing with your crew for that day?
Yeah, it's trying to keep them, well, get the crew to try and motivate them, not motivate themselves, but helping them motivate, like, the group. I'm very confident with the team that you have working for you there, so...
We are very confident with the team we have looking here. We're looking for you to pick the team. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, so tomorrow we want this to be your day, and we want you to run it from the beginning to the end, and it's all going to be your input that's going to affect what happens tomorrow.
It's the final day, and today Dan will complete his task of managing the Centre's Aqua Olympics.
This is the morning we've all been waiting for, Dan.
Okay, yeah.
It's your final challenge.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to be standing back, so don't be looking to us for any direction. This is your day.
Okay.
You're going to be the master this morning.
This morning on Aqua Olympics, we have Dave, Tristan, Aaron, and Megan.
I think he's under a little bit of pressure this morning. You can see it in him, but he's a little bit nervous.
I want you guys to have as much fun as you can out in the water, alright? So if you guys are having fun, the kids are having fun, okay?
What I would like to see from him is to stand back and run it as a manager. To be aware of how the atmosphere is going, how the activity is going. Because if he starts watching what's going on, rather than participating in what's going on, then that's the start of when somebody realises that that's what business is about. Trust the people you have working for you.
So, you know, we want to give the kids a really good impression of the centre, yes? So, have a great time, and we have 40 minutes, so thanks, guys.
Dan is making his final preparations and checking his instructors can hear him clearly.
Over.
Can you hear me, Dan?
Loud and clear.
Karen, Gavin and Rupert are watching his every move from the balcony at the centre.
What we need to do now is try and organise them and get them ready and get them out of here, because it's like 1 Alright? Are you ready to ferry the guys over to the beach? So yeah, lads, it's 10:30, so we're going to get going. Over.
The games get off to a good start and the children are all in the water and enjoying themselves. But as the morning wears on, Dan isn't communicating effectively with his instructors.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
The games lose their momentum and things start to go a bit flat.
Yeah, just keep it moving, because we're getting a bit bored. You know, you got to keep the action going.
Anything else that you can do to kill the time?
Yeah, well, it's up to you, like, you know, you want to motivate the kids, make sure they have loads of fun.
With Dan struggling, his masters call him back in.
Welcome back, well done. Alright, you enjoy yourself? Yeah? I can't really hear you. It didn't really work as well as I had wanted it. Some of the kids weren't all involved at the same time, so you kind of got a little bit stagnated and the whole thing kind of, you know, fizzled out a bit, and I maybe didn't react quick enough, and, you know, I'm a little bit annoyed myself for not organising a good session, but I think if they're willing to give me another shot now in the afternoon, I'll try and lift up my game and make sure they have a really, really good time.
Gavin takes Dan aside for a chat and reminds him of his objectives.
This morning it was a bit of a disaster, right? Okay, but don't worry about that. You'll make mistakes. You learn, you move on for it. But I think what I want to try and get you to do this afternoon is look at this whole session, that this is your company. Treat it like it's your own.
Okay. That young guy, he just seems to be having a bit of trouble with the whole thing. He's kind of sitting by himself. Good stuff out.
It seems to be all working pretty well. He's doing a hell of a lot better than this morning. He was really pushed into the deep end there this morning, so to speak, excuse the pun. But this afternoon now, he's doing a hell of a lot better. I mean, he's learned so much from this morning. His communication with our instructors is a hell of a lot better. Now they know what he's getting at.
What do you reckon to do in your teams? And they all have to do a team together, a team school.
Okay, guys, we're going to get you into your teams again. We're better than you.
It's just a race back to the pontoon now, out.
David!
I don't know that one.
Oh, well done, guys. Big five.
It's the end of Dan's time at Dunmore East, and at prize giving, the children give their opinions as to how he got on.
10 out of 10, definitely. Dan's so funny, and every time I said hello, he'd always say hello, Christian, back.
He's very good, and he's good with the children and all that. He's very good. Clap for Dan.
Dan was, I think, the best teacher. I hope I get him next year if I go. The week rocked.
And I think you all had a good time. What do you reckon? Yeah? Oh, come on, you can do a bit better than that. Come on. Yeah! Yeah? Come back again. Yeah!
Okay, this morning wasn't great, but he really picked up his game for this afternoon, and all the kids came back in and they had a great time. But I think overall he did very well. He still is quite cocky, but that's his age and that's the way he's going to be, and I think it's important that he shows a bit of character and he shows promise for the future.
All right, sweets are on me!
A very roller coaster ride for the week for us, but an amazing experience. We learnt a lot. We learnt a lot about ourselves. Yeah, I think it did only dawn on him at the end of the week that it's not just about sort of instructing activities. There's so much more going on in the background. We were actually looking for him to take on board the responsibility of running a business, not become an instructor. But if he is to start his own business, he has to stand back and watch what's going on, look around him, and I wish Dan the very best for the future.
For a minute, I'd just like to thank Dan for coming down. I'd just like to give him a special little presentation. We have a staff jacket as only worn by the management. I'd like to give everybody to give him a round of applause.
It's been a great week, you know. Sometimes now I've found a little bit tough and maybe a small bit intimidated at the start, but Canada's great. And I wanted to ask Stu, you know, she would help me out. Like, the thing I'd most take from this week is trying new things, like, because you can get very comfortable if you're in one job for a long time. You know your little boundaries, you know what works, you know what doesn't work. Like, I always thought I'd try to push myself with my windsurfing, but more on a professional level. Maybe I had kind of withdrawn from that a little bit, so just going out and pushing your own limits a little bit, and that's what I'm going to take, and I'm going to keep trying to do that.
Initially when Dan arrived, it was a little like looking into the past for me. I think when we first opened our business, an illusion that a lot of us would have had was that we would be able to come and just do our own activities, but it doesn't quite work like that. There's so much going on in the background, and it's been a hard week for him. He's really been dropped in the middle of a very busy week with us, but he's learned completely from his mistakes, and once he got into the flow of things, he got more confident in what he was doing, and he tried his damnedest. He did really, really well. I was proud of him.
And you can see the last in the current series of The Master's Apprentice at the same time next week. In the meantime, though, get a masterclass from Neville Maguire as he brings us seafood from the sun tomorrow at 7:30 here on RTE1.